Have you ever met someone and instantly felt a connection, like you just clicked? Maybe it was a friend, a colleague, or even a stranger, but something about them drew you in. That invisible pull, that effortless spark, is what I call magnetic chemistry. And the exciting part, it's not some mysterious talent only a few are born with. You can learn how to create it with anyone. Today, we're going to explore the psychology behind these connections, inspired by the insights of Carl Jung, and I'll show you practical ways to make your presence unforgettable. To truly create magnetic chemistry with anyone, it all begins with presence. Presence is more than just showing up physically. It's the art of being fully engaged in the moment, of giving someone your undivided attention. Think about the last time you were talking to someone and they were distracted, scrolling through their phone, glancing around the room, or checking their watch. How did that make you feel? Probably invisible, unimportant, even frustrated. Now imagine the opposite scenario. Someone looks at you, listens intently to every word you say, nods when appropriate, and responds thoughtfully. That feeling of being seen is magnetic. People are drawn to it because it makes them feel valued on a fundamental level. Carl Jung understood this in his exploration of human psychology. He often emphasized the importance of authentic encounters between individuals, calling attention to how deeply the unconscious mind responds when it feels acknowledged and understood. When you are fully present, you are essentially signaling that you are tuned in not just to the words someone says, but to their emotions, their energy, and even the unspoken currents beneath the surface. This kind of attention creates a subtle yet powerful bond, the kind that lingers long after the conversation ends. Being present requires conscious effort, especially in today's world of constant distractions. It means silencing your inner monologue about what you'll say next, letting go of your phone and suspending judgment. It's about giving the person in front of you the space to exist fully, without interruption or interference. When you do this, you create an invisible field of respect and connection. People sense it instinctively. They feel safe and valued. And that safety allows chemistry to blossom naturally. Presence also extends beyond words. It's in your posture, your eye contact, your gestures, and the energy you bring into the room. Even a subtle lean forward, a gentle nod, or an engaged smile signals that you are truly there, in the moment, and that you care about the exchange. It's a non-verbal language of attention that speaks volumes more than words ever could. Magnetic chemistry starts here because presence acts as a foundation. Once someone feels seen and heard, everything else, authenticity, curiosity, subtle energy mirroring, can flourish. Without presence, these other elements struggle to take root. Presence is, in a way, a gift you give to others, and it's one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to make yourself unforgettable. So, the next time you enter a conversation, remember Carl Jung's insight into the transformative power of authentic encounters. Pause, focus, and give your attention fully. When you do, you're not just talking, you're creating an experience, a moment of connection that can spark chemistry that feels almost electric. And that, my friends, is where magnetic connections begin. Once you've mastered the art of being fully present, the next step in creating magnetic chemistry is embracing authenticity and vulnerability. Too often, people hide behind masks, careful facades designed to impress, protect, or control how others perceive them. But Carl Jung reminded us that true connection arises when we confront and embrace our own shadow. The parts of ourselves that we usually keep hidden, the imperfections, doubts, and fears. When we allow ourselves to be authentic, to reveal who we really are, we invite others to do the same. Vulnerability is magnetic because it signals courage, honesty, and trustworthiness. It tells people, I am real, and I'm willing to show it. Think about the people you find most memorable in your life. Chances are, it's not someone who was perfect, polished, or flawless. It's the person who laughed at their own mistakes, shared a personal story without pretense, or admitted when they didn't have all the answers. That raw honesty creates an invisible thread between people, a feeling of intimacy that can't be manufactured. When you step into a conversation fully as yourself, without hiding, you allow others to feel safe, lowering their own walls. That is the spark of magnetic chemistry. Embracing authenticity doesn't mean oversharing or being reckless with personal details. It's about aligning your words, actions, and energy with your true self. It's choosing honesty over social convenience, sincerity over superficiality. When someone senses that your energy is genuine, they instinctively feel drawn to you. Carl Jung believed that meaningful relationships are built not on external appearances, but on the meeting of authentic souls. He understood that the unconscious mind picks up on subtle signals of authenticity and vulnerability long before conscious recognition occurs. People can feel it, even if they can't articulate why. Vulnerability also involves courage. It's a risk to show your true self because it opens the door to judgment or rejection. But the rewards far outweigh the risks. By being open, you invite trust and reciprocity. Others are more likely to mirror your openness, sharing their own fears, dreams, and authentic selves. This mutual vulnerability creates a powerful sense of connection, a chemistry that feels electric and undeniable. Even small gestures of authenticity can have a profound impact. A sincere compliment, a thoughtful confession, or admitting when you don't know something can break down barriers instantly. It's about demonstrating that you're human, relatable, and approachable. This magnetism doesn't require perfection. It requires presence, honesty, and the courage to show up fully as yourself. So, the next time you interact with someone, remember Jung's insight into the power of the shadow and authenticity. Let go of the masks, reveal the parts of yourself you usually hide, and invite the other person to do the same. When you embrace vulnerability, you're not just sharing who you are. You're creating a space where genuine chemistry can flourish and where connections become unforgettable. Once you've mastered presence and embraced authenticity, the next step in creating magnetic chemistry is learning to subtly mirror the energy of the people you interact with. Now, this isn't about imitating someone's gestures or parroting their words. It's about attuning yourself to their emotional rhythm, their pace, their body language, and their energy. When done genuinely, this creates an unspoken sense of understanding, a resonance that goes beyond words. Carl Jung often spoke about the unconscious aspects of human interaction, highlighting that much of our connection with others happens beneath the surface. Mirroring taps into this unconscious flow, allowing a bond to form that feels natural, effortless, and magnetic. Think about conversations you've had where you felt an immediate sense of ease with someone. Often, it's because your energy aligned, your tone matched theirs, your gestures flowed in harmony, and your emotional pace felt synced. That sense of alignment is exactly what subtle mirroring achieves. It communicates, without a word, "I see you. I understand you." People sense it on an instinctual level, and that's what makes it so powerful. When someone feels understood unconsciously, they relax, open up, and naturally gravitate toward you. The key is subtlety. Mirroring should never feel forced or manipulative. If it's exaggerated, it comes as fake or contrived, which can create distance rather than closeness. Instead, it's about gently observing and responding. Notice how someone carries themselves, the energy behind their speech, or the pace at which they talk. If they are animated and expressive, matching a similar level of enthusiasm shows that you resonate with them. If they are calm and reflective, slowing down your own rhythm and softening your tone signals empathy and understanding. This kind of attunement makes people feel safe and valued, which is the foundation for magnetic chemistry. Carl Jung believed that humans are drawn to patterns and resonance at a subconscious level. When someone subtly mirrors another person's energy, it triggers a sense of familiarity and alignment in the unconscious mind. It's as if the other person is saying, without words, we are in sync. This sense of connection can transform ordinary interactions into meaningful encounters that leave a lasting impression. Over time, this practice not only strengthens your interpersonal skills, but also enhances your emotional intelligence, because you become more aware of the unspoken cues that guide human behavior. Subtle mirroring isn't just about physical energy, it's also about emotional resonance. Reflect their feelings, whether it's excitement, curiosity, or concern, without overdoing it. This communicates empathy and understanding, creating a magnetic pull that draws people closer. When you combine this with presence and authenticity, you are essentially creating a space where others feel deeply seen, understood, and appreciated. So, the next time you engage with someone, remember Jung's insight into the unconscious mind and human resonance. Tune in, attune your energy subtly, and watch how connections deepen effortlessly. And as you do this, get ready. Because when people feel this kind of understanding, they don't just like you, they are drawn to you in a way that is impossible to ignore. And that, my friends, sets the stage perfectly for the next step, cultivating genuine curiosity that turns interest into lasting connection. Once you have learned to mirror energy subtly, the next step in creating magnetic chemistry is cultivating genuine curiosity about the people you interact with. Curiosity is more than just asking questions. It's a mindset, an attitude that says, I want to understand you, not just superficially, but in the depth of who you are. Carl Jung believed that every individual carries a unique unconscious world, a constellation of thoughts, experiences, and emotions that shape who they are. When you approach someone with genuine curiosity, you are essentially inviting them to reveal that inner world, and that invitation is incredibly magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who truly seek to know them, because it makes them feel valued and significant. Cultivating curiosity begins with active listening. This means not just hearing the words someone says, but paying attention to the nuances, the pauses, the intonation, the emotions underlying their speech. When you notice these subtleties and respond thoughtfully, you demonstrate that you are genuinely engaged. Ask open-ended questions that encourage them to share more about themselves, their passions, their challenges, and their dreams. But remember, the key is sincerity. People can detect when curiosity is forced or performative. Authentic curiosity comes from a desire to connect on a deeper level, not from trying to impress or manipulate. Curiosity also involves remembering the little details. If someone mentions a hobby, a recent experience, or even a fleeting thought, bringing it up later shows that you are truly listening and that you care. This level of attentiveness makes interactions feel personal, meaningful, and magnetic. Carl Jung emphasized that human beings are drawn to others who can recognize and validate their inner worlds. By cultivating curiosity, you are doing exactly that. You are acknowledging that their experiences, thoughts, and emotions matter. Beyond words, curiosity is reflected in your energy. When you approach someone with a genuine desire to understand them, your body language, facial expressions, and tone naturally convey interest. A leaning posture, attentive eye contact, and thoughtful gestures signal that you are fully present and engaged. This combination of verbal and non-verbal curiosity creates an invisible magnetism that encourages openness and builds trust. Curiosity also opens the door for deeper empathy. When you seek to understand someone, you begin to see the world through their eyes, feel their emotions more keenly, and appreciate their perspective. This empathetic resonance is the bedrock of magnetic chemistry because it allows people to feel truly seen and understood. They are not just interacting with you, they are experiencing a connection that feels profound and genuine. So as you step into your next conversation, remember Jung's insight into the human psyche and the importance of understanding the unconscious world of others. Approach every interaction with sincere curiosity. Listen deeply and remember the details that matter. When you do this, you are not just talking. You are creating a magnetic space where people feel valued, understood, and drawn to you naturally. And once curiosity has opened that door, you are perfectly poised to move into the final step, co-creating chemistry that transforms ordinary connections into unforgettable relationships. After mastering presence, embracing authenticity, mirroring energy, and cultivating curiosity, the final step in creating magnetic chemistry is learning to co-create it naturally. Chemistry isn't something that exists in one person alone. It's a dance, a dynamic exchange between two people that emerges when both are fully engaged and open. Carl Jung once said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." This perfectly captures the essence of co-creating chemistry. It's not about impressing or controlling someone, but about engaging in a mutual exchange where both people influence and enhance the interaction. Co-creating chemistry begins with a mindset of collaboration rather than performance. Many people approach social interactions with the goal of winning approval, seeking validation, or trying to impress. While it's natural to want to be liked, focusing on performance creates distance and tension. True magnetic chemistry, on the other hand, emerges when both people feel safe to be themselves, when the energy flows naturally and each person contributes to the interaction authentically, when you let go of the need to dominate or manipulate the conversation and instead participate fully in a shared experience, the connection becomes effortless and memorable. At its core, co-creating chemistry is about attunement and reciprocity. It's about reading the other person's energy, responding with empathy, and contributing your own presence in a way that complements theirs. When someone shares a story, a thought, or a feeling, you don't just react. You reflect, build upon it, and share your own genuine response. This back and forth creates a rhythm, a give and take that feels alive and engaging. Jung's work reminds us that these subtle exchanges touch the unconscious mind, forming bonds that go beyond words and linger in memory long after the conversation ends. Another key aspect is balancing vulnerability and confidence. Sharing your thoughts, emotions, or insights invites the other person to do the same, while confidence reassures them that this exchange is safe and grounded. When both vulnerability and confidence are present, interactions feel authentic, dynamic, and magnetic. People are drawn to those who can be real without being fragile, open without being needy, and engaging without being overwhelming. Co-creation also involves timing and flow. Allow pauses, let ideas breathe, and notice when the other person is ready to share more or needs space. Chemistry isn't rushed. It develops organically when you give it room to grow. By honoring the natural rhythm of interaction, you invite deeper engagement and create a shared experience that feels alive and mutual. Ultimately, co-creating chemistry is about presence, empathy, and mutual influence. It's recognizing that both people contribute to the magnetic spark, and that the strongest connections happen when you interact as equals, authentically and openly. When you combine everything we've discussed, presence, authenticity, mirroring, curiosity, you set the stage for interactions that are transformative, memorable, and truly magnetic. So, as you step into your next conversation, remember Jung's insight: chemistry is co-created. Approach each interaction with openness, authenticity, and empathy, and watch how ordinary exchanges turn into extraordinary connections. When two personalities meet in this way, the result isn't just conversation, it's transformation, a spark that neither person will forget.